Oh, what's that? I didn't see you there on this cold winter's night. Oh, well, since you've come here, since you've gathered round, come, take a seat, ye all, and let me read to you the great tale of uh, Club Penguin, the Great Puffle Switch, um, that I found last week. You see that? That says 25 pence. They were really desperate to get rid of this one. It was at like the bottom shelf of like the clearance rail in like a WH Smith, the downstairs bit. Um, 2011. Um, this thing has been sitting here. This thing was sitting in that basement of that WH Smith on that clearance rack for the last 15 years. How could I not? Hidden from the world, this masterpiece of a pick your ye own adventure story, a staple. So come, sit down, and I shall tell you the tale of the Great Puffle Switch by Tracy West. Thank you very much, Tracy West. Hey, your puffle is cool, says a pink penguin passing by. Thanks, you say. You are walking into the Get out now. Get out now. You are walking into the town centre with your green puffle, PJ. PJ loves to go on walks, don't you, PJ? PJ smiles at you. Well, at least I think he does, you add, looking up at the pink penguin. He always seems happy when we go out walking. Sometimes I wish I could talk, so I know exactly how he feels. Pink penguin nods. Yes, that would be awesome, she says, and then waves. I'm off to a football match. Bye. You wave back and then look down at PJ. Okay, buddy. Where should we go now? PJ looks up to the sky. You follow his gaze and see black storm clouds in the sky. Then a drop of rain hits you right on the beak. Guess we should go inside somewhere, you say. How about the nightclub? PJ hops up and down with excitement. You know that PJ loves to dance, so you head inside just as the rain begins to pour. A pulsing beat is blasting from the speakers in the nightclub. Different coloured spotlights shine on the penguins dancing upon the dance floor. Some of them are wearing colourful outfits, just right for dancing. You're wearing a t-shirt you got at the music jam party. PJ is wearing his red and white propeller hat. The two of you start to dance. The propeller hat allows PJ to fly around. He zips and zooms around, doing loops and whirls in the air. Go, PJ! You yell. You're having a blast. Boom! You nearly jump out of your skin as a loud clap of thunder rocks the nightclub. There is a sizzling sound as the lights flash on and off. You look over at PJ to see if he's okay, and see that he's hovering next to you. You reach up to grab him. Suddenly, zap! A jolt of light from the yellow spotlight hits PJ. PJ's propeller. PJ giggles. It tickles. Zap! A jolt of bright pink light hits the propeller next. Zap! Orange light. Zap! Green light. Zap! Blue light. It happens so fast you're not even sure it's real. The coloured streams of light rocket off PJ's propeller and then they zap you, knocking you backwards. You burst into laughter as a funny, tingly feeling hits you from the top of your head to the bottom of your webbed foot. For a few seconds you can't see anything except for the swirling yellow, pink, orange, green and blue lights. Then the tickling feeling disappears. You jump up. PJ, are you okay? You ask. But PJ isn't hovering next to you anymore. Instead, a green penguin is standing there. A huge green penguin. You are very confused. I'm way better than okay, the Green Penguin says. I feel amazing. Excuse me, you say, but I'm trying to find my Puffle, PJ. I'm getting really distracted because, like, there's just, like, this guy. He's just, like, kind of, like, chilling out in the bottom of every page. I don't know what he's there for, and he looks very lost. It's very distracting. What do you mean, you ask? Do you know me? And why are you so big? You try to gesture angrily at the penguin with your flipper, and that's when you notice you don't have flippers anymore. You slowly look down at your body. You are round, green, and fuzzy. You have no flippers, nor feet. This can't be true, you yell. I'm a Puffle. Sure looks that way, says the Green Penguin. And I'm a penguin. You take a closer look at the giant penguin and realize he is wearing a t-shirt from the music jam. Your t-shirt. Truth suddenly hits you. No way, you say. PJ, you and I have switched bodies. It can't be true. But it is. It's amazing, exciting, and scary at the same time. Your mind is full of questions. How did this happen, you babble? Must have been when we were zapped by those lights. Weird. How do we change back? And why am I talking? Puffles cannot talk. Actually, we can, PJ says. We talk to each other. Penguins just can't understand us. I guess I can understand you because I'm still really a Puffle, even though I'm in your body. I guess that makes sense, you say. I never knew PJ was so smart. This is so cool, PJ cries, dancing around. Look at me. I have flippers. I can wear clothes. The other penguins on the dance floor are giving PJ strange looks. As cool as the whole accident is, it could be a problem. What if you stayed trapped in PJ's body forever? You wish there was someone smart enough to help you figure this out. Then it hits you. Gary the Gadget Guy. He's a super smart inventor who's created some of the coolest things on Club Penguin. If anyone can help you, Gary can. You know that Gary has a workshop inside the sports shop. You should probably head there. PJ, come on, you say. We need to go to the sports shop. PJ doesn't hear you. He's too busy trying out new dance steps, copying the penguins next to him. You try to think what PJ does when he wants your attention. Then you remember. You start hopping up and down. PJ, come on, you yell. We have to go. PJ hears you. Really? Do we have to? Yes, you say. Please? PJ nods. Okay, let's go. You and PJ leave the nightclub. You bop alongside PJ as you follow the trail that leads to the ski village. PJ is sliding around on the icy path. Whoa, this is fun, he says. It's not easy to keep PJ focused on the way to the sports shop. He tries to touch everything he sees. He talks to every penguin he meets. When you pass a snowbank, he flops down in the snow and starts waving his slippers. Look, I'm making a snow angel, he shouts happily. You have to admit that looks like fun. But unless you keep PJ moving, you'll never get there. It's beautiful, PJ, you say. Now let's go. Finally, you reach the sports shop. You follow PJ up the wooden steps. When you enter, PJ rushes over to a pair of skis on the wall. Cool, he cries. You hop over to the door of Gary's workshop. The door is closed, but you realize you have no way to knock to open the door. PJ, pick me up, you say. PJ races over and lifts you up. That's when you notice the sign on the door. Back soon, Gary. Yeah, he's not here, you grumble. What should we do now? If you decide to wait for Gary, please go to page 55. If you go and look for Gary, please go to page 64. What a predicament. What would I do? He does say he'll be back soon. But page 64 is further into the book. I think what should be done is I think we should wait. Gary, the gadget guy, claims that he will indeed be back soon. So I think we will wait for Gary. I think we will go to page 55. I almost opened it the exact one. That would have been cool. From page 55. PJ is now happily bouncing up and down on a big pink exercise ball. You remember how distracted he was on the walk over here and decide it's safest to wait for Gary. Luckily, Gary walks into the shop a minute later, wearing a white lab coat over his shirt and tie. The lenses around his round glasses are fogged up from the wet weather outside. He hurries past you on the way to the door of his workshop. You hop in front of him. "Excuse me," you say. "Gary, I need your help." Gary looks down at you, smiling. "Well, aren't you an excited little puffle?" he says. Oh no, Gary can't understand you. You start bouncing up and down more frantically. Gary looks over at PJ, who is trying on a pair of ski boots on his head. Gary says. "Something unusual is going on here." "Wait one moment." Gary goes into his workshop and comes out with a small black box made of metal. He clips it onto the lab coat and turns a tiny dial on the device. The metal box squeaks and beeps. "This is my latest invention. It allows me to translate the Puffle language," he says. "Now, please, go ahead and tell me what's wrong." "I need your help, Gary," you say. "I switched bodies with my Puffle PJ." Gary doesn't seem shocked by this. "Fascinating," he says. "That would explain your penguin, a Puffle's strange behavior. Please tell me how it happened." You tell Gary the whole story, explaining that you switched bodies after the spotlights in the nightclub went crazy, zapping PJ's propeller hat and then striking you. "Extremely fascinating," Gary says thoughtfully. "The precise pattern of electronic energy seems to have caused some kind of molecular switch. If we can replace the pattern, it may be possible to switch you back." Gary pulls a notebook and pen out of his pocket and starts furiously drawing calculations. Finally, he looks down at you. "Follow me," he says. "I have an idea." Wait, hold on. Oh, what page was I on? Fuck. I can't actually see with these glasses. Okay. This hurts my eyes a bit. "Follow me," he says. "I have an idea." turn to PJ. Hey PJ, come on. PJ slips out of the inner tube he has put on and follows you into Gary's workshop. The place is a mess of shelves filled with strange devices and gadgets. Gary's desk is covered with papers. Gary opens the cabinet and takes out another small black device. This one looks a bit like a radio. A few Halloweens ago, I made a monster magnet, my monster maker that attracts lightning storms, he says. It can recreate the conditions that caused you and PJ to switch bodies. But first, I need a reading of the electromagnetic ions in the air. What do I do? You ask. Just take this box to a high place and press the red button, Gary says. Then bring it back to me and I'll program the I said the monster maker, not monkey. Monster maker and change you back. No problem, you say. But give it to PJ to hold. I have no hands. You and PJ walk outside the sports shop. Where should you take the box? If you go to the ski hill, go to page 14. If you go to the beacon, go to page 27. What would I do in this situation? What would you do in this situation? All you were told is to take this box to a high place and press the red button. Then bring it back. The ski hill is indeed bigger than the beacon is, typically. So I believe our best bet would be to go to the ski hill upon page 14. I'd like to keep the glasses on, but like they actually really hurt my eyes. They're actual like proper like reading prescribed reading glasses. Page 14. Gary said to go to a high place, so you and PJ decide to ride the chairlift up the ski hill. PJ holds out the little box and presses the red button. You hear a beep and see the words, reading completed, on the screen. You and PJ head back to Gary. He's got the monster maker ready to go. All of the tubes and lights on the machine make you nervous, but Gary says not to worry. He places you on an X he's marked on the floor and tells PJ to stand on another X. Gary hits a switch and coloured lights shoot out of the monster maker. The light hits your propeller hat and then bounces off and hits PJ. Just like before, your whole body tingles. When you open your eyes, you look down at your body and see that you are a penguin again. You pick up PJ. Gary did it, you say. You're glad it worked, but part of you is a little sad. Maybe your adventure ended too soon. After all, how many penguins get to be a puffle? The end. I do get the feeling that I only really read about 7 pages. I would make the argument that the decisions I made were the most rational. I was told to wait, and so I waited. I was told to go to the high point. The ski hill is higher than the beacon was. So I guess that means you succeed early on. It does make a lot of sense. But I still get the feeling that indeed, I agree with what the book says, that I could have had more of a Puffle adventure as a Puffle. But I think you would naturally want to take this seriously. You naturally want to take a story like this as seriously as you can. So I feel like I've missed out a little bit. And I feel like I did the right things, but got the sort of lesser outcome in a sense from this. That said, I very much thoroughly enjoyed this book. I would indeed recommend it quite a lot. I'm a big fan of the characters of you, the player penguin, and PJ, who I assume is this puffle here. Most green puffles always have the propeller hat anyway, so we can assume that this is PJ, or an approximation of PJ. I like the interaction. I like getting to like feel as if I am personally interacting with Gary. He's a very iconic Club Penguin character, Gary. Perhaps one of the most iconic. Certainly the one that you would have had the most direct interaction with in the games, due to the many spy missions. Overall, I think it's a very concise read that really gets to the heart of what it would feel like to switch bodies with a puffle for about like 15 minutes. As a piece of Club Penguin literature, I think it's not my favorite. I always like the that one that was in the coffee shop. I forget his name. It's been like 8 years, 9 years, whenever Club Penguin shut down. That said, I did get obsessed with it for a couple of years at the end of high school, on the private servers, around that time, because it was much more fun to fuck around in Club Penguin than it was to do higher English. In conclusion, I do highly recommend this book. The blurb describes it as a magical event has occurred on Club Penguin. You and your pet Puffle have switched bodies. See life through the eyes of a Puffle as you go on amazing adventures along with some new Puffle friends. In the end, will you find a way to switch back to a penguin, or will you become a Puffle forever? The choice is yours. Well, you take the two most obvious options and the book ends within like 20 minutes. But for a piece of children's literature, I think it's very concise. I do very much I appreciate the language it takes. And it just takes me back to, it really puts me in the world of Club Penguin. I do really recommend this. If you can find this extremely rare old book at the bottom of a shelf, unloved and forgotten about in a dusty corner of a W.H. Smith basement, near all like the pencils and shit, for only 25 pence, I think it is a wonderful purchase, and I would highly recommend you choose the options that like don't make sense, I guess, or you choose the options that you want. I think that would have helped me a lot had I had done that. But in conclusion, I think I would give this a very, very high rating. I do think it is a very, very worthwhile read. And I hope you thought so as well. Thank you very much for joining me today. And I will see you next week, where I'll probably Oh, I worked it out. This little confused guy. This guy who's like really like confused and looks like he's really like lost. This guy. Can you see him? See this guy? I worked it out. You see this guy right here, this really lost looking penguin guy? It's like a flip book, and it's like, oh, he turns into a Puffle. And that's what the book